Hi guys, Ludohost here with another video. Just thought I did say I was going to stream or record or upload a video today talking about the Desert Kingdoms again. So I did record a bunch of games. Anyway, I will go into that, but I thought I saved this. Pretty sure I did. Oh, I did, yep. So anyway, I played as all four factions and I've won with them at least once. I will be going over the losses as well, just not yet. So first off, we have the Kingdom of Kush. The very first battle I played with these guys I lost, but it was against Sparta. So I'll include that at the end of the video.
Are you afraid of Greeks? When they are not arguing about the universe, they are chasing goats for all the wrong reasons. They can talk passably well, but they fight lamentably. Excellent. They will pay for that failing today.
So the Africans and Arabians, basically like Attila, have a desert feeling to them, or have an Eastern feeling. Like the voice actors are obviously Eastern, as you can tell. There was a review on Steam where the person said that they feel Eastern altogether, and I have to disagree, unfortunately. Not every faction feels Eastern.
Great march!
And I'll go over that soon. So basically, this is the Kingdom of Kush. They excel at archery, like foot archery. I have 3 Kushite archers, I think, and then my general is a Royal Kushite archer who has 40 damage instead of 30. So I stopped right here with all my archers, seeing that he was going to charge, but I probably wouldn't have had to. All I could have done was countered with my armored desert cav into his Thessalians, but these guys are also medium, so it's probably a good idea just to be on the safe side. So I start to fire on his units. He has mostly a pike corps, but a heavy sword presence over here. I decided to rush up so I can, start fighting. He has Cretan archers who I do not want to fight. I think he had 3 of them and then a regular unit of archers. So I decided to not bother to go up against that. Unfortunately, the only units that have armor in this build are my armored Shoto warriors and the Shoto warriors. So all these other units will get peppered by archers easily, as you can see. And so these guys are going to rout already, without them really doing anything.
Back! Back! We're through!
Start to fire into his archers, which is what you want to do in a situation like this. Also, I can start to feel the pressure mounting up on him. Start to fire on his pikes, start to advance over here. The plan is obviously to engage his Thorax swordsmen. My swordsmen themselves were getting peppered, but I should have pulled back and not allowed this to happen. I decided to move up with my armored Shoto warriors. So over here I start to engage with my own Shoto warriors. He decides to use his Therios spears over here, but I already get a weird charge, so he's a little bit late there.
Double time!
He's still aiming for my swordsman, which I should have pulled back by this point to not allow this to happen. But I was too slow to react, and so I'm going to lose this one as well.
Engage! For glory! Quickly,
I did rout his pikemen though, so that was pretty good. His 3 spears are doing a number there on my units here. However, shield wall kind of glitched over here, which is what I was afraid of. So my last unit of swordsmen is being fired at. But thankfully I found a gap right here, which I could exploit because he was countering my cav. Over here there's a cav fight. The Salians are against Armored Desert Cav. Armored Desert Cav will definitely win because they have a bonus of life versus 10 and have better defense. 58 defense compared to their 15. He decides to face his back to my archers, which is going to make them die a lot easier. His pikemen over here aren't doing much. Those 3 spears were actually getting to my back, which I didn't even notice. But over here, I'm going to win the cav fight, so I should be able to. I think I supported that afterwards. The real spirits are moving in to counter my swordsman. Again, I should have been more reserved with my swordsman. It's a mistake I keep on making, and I think it's just because I'm getting tardy.
Riders! At the double!
So his Thessalians over here routed. Bringing them back over here will get rid of these Thorax swordsmen. My last swordsman routed, unfortunately.
Advance at speed! Riders at the double! People glory!
The Thorax swordsman I thought would win. I thought would lose for winning right now.
As you said, forward! We understand!
This Thorax swordsman routed. I'm still using my archers. I think these 2 ran out of ammunition. So I'm just using my other Kushite archers to get rid of these guys.
Fire on the enemy! As you say! As you command! Forever loyal! As you command!
With his skirmishers tied down here, he can't counterfire on my Kushite archers. I think, though, if I really wanted to, I could have easily countered Macedon with my own archers if I had brought 5 instead of 4. So I think I'm going to try that the next time I play as this faction.
Engage! Fill the skies! Forward! Ventus! Back, men! Back! As you say!
Over here, my cat got tied down. I'm actually not sure why I kept them there for that long. I guess I wasn't paying that much attention over here.
As you command! Riders at the double!
So I used poison shot around this time just to see how much attack it would take off. Takes off quite a bit.
Riders at the double! For glory! We understand! March!
See, these guys have 49 attack and then it went down to 30, so it took off 19. However, I think it's a percentage it takes off and not like an actual fixed number. And that's yet to be seen. Notice, however, that they're still fresh even though I used poison shot. That's because Rome 2's version doesn't instantly exhaust them. It'll exhaust them over time, sure, but it doesn't instantly exhaust them. And I think that there might be a DLC for Rome 2 in this case. And if that's the case, then what will end up happening is Attila will finally fix this issue.
Riders at the double!
So this unit of armored shoulder warriors is fighting the Sturios spears, but they're exhausted. These guys are very tired.
Withdraw! Forever loyal!
So yeah, I could have lost this very easily.
Engage!
But I think the reason I won is because of the fact that I was able to tie down his archers eventually. Also, this is a relatively new faction, so there aren't that many ways to counter it just yet. But slowly and surely we're finding out how. You know, kind of like the Lusitani, you have to be careful with your sword units, because they don't have that much armor. And I should have been more careful. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the army of Kush. So, archery is their focus point, but they do have the Shoto, which also was introduced into Rome 2. It was also introduced to Rome 2, and basically it's a curved blade. The armor piercing varies though. The Shoto warriors have 12 armor piercing and 13 base damage, I think, and then the armored Shoto warriors have 20 armor piercing and 30 base damage. So there's a difference there. Still, Shoto warriors can excel frontally against armored infantry. However, you have to be careful of their price matching. For example, they can probably beat Thorax Swordsman in a one-on-one, but they cost 780 talents as well. So they're a very expensive corps, but very manageable too, as they have decent armor. Next is the Masali. I can't pronounce it right anymore. It's Masali. I think the S here is silent. Masali. I'll figure out how to pronounce it later. It's not a big deal.
As you say! Long has Carthage held power to her bosom. Today, we break that power and show it not to be absolute. Come, men, come! Let us drive back these traders and merchants and claim the riches of these city folk. You piglet!
So the Masali, or to be quite frank, the Numidians, In any case, these guys excel in Roman-like tactics. As you can see, they have Desert Legionaries, which is exactly the same as Legionaries, except they cost more because of the fact that they are resistant to heat. Desert Cohort are stronger than Legionary Cohort. I can't remember which unit has 60 defense. It's not the Evil Kadi cohort. It might be the Eagle cohort who has 60 defense. In any case, you already know how to use Numidian cavalry. These guys are just an armored version, which Carthage does not have. They have only the regular version. So basically, Roman-like tactics, just use these guys as you use a Roman army, in a sense. If you play as the Romans and you like to use Numidian cavalry for baiting and whatever, obviously you don't need to. I don't need to lecture you on how to use these guys. But the Misisli are different in a sense because they have solid cavalry. I don't think. Well, noble Numidian cavalry are pretty good too, but they have better javelin cav, and they're very good at hit and run tactics like Galatia or Tylus. So if you can hold your center down and hold your flanks down and just bait and whatever, you should be able to win with ease. So here I'm separating this unit of Numidian Noble Cav from the rest of its army. I brought it down to 75% of its health. Over here, his Iberian cavalry is coming to counter. Javelins have an easy time against cavalry. I think it's pretty obvious why. We all know that they have a bonus of 10 versus cav, which is why peltasts and other javelins are so useful against them. Here he's lost most of his forces here, too. The only reason I'm able to pull this off is because of my experience in Rome 2. You know, good microing is important. I shouldn't have turned around here, I would have been in range. But I wasn't. I thought he was going to counter. So he has his Balearic Slingers here. Obviously I don't want to get in range of them, but I will anyway. I was momentarily in range of his Iberian cavalry again, trying to get this unit of Numidian cavalry.
Follow me! Riders at the double! Riders at the double!
His 3 Balearic Slingers are bunched up, but I can't directly charge them because of this noble cavalry, so instead I close the distance on this Numidian cav. I go into melee mode and I charge them directly. But I'm bringing up my cavalry as well because I know that these noble cav will easily beat me. So I decide to countercharge this noble cav. I think he was still able to get a charge in. Yeah, he was. It's just how Rome 2 works. So my Numidian cavalry over here got charged by the Iberian cavalry finally. I think I'm gonna rout these guys though, so I don't have to worry about that. Noble cavalry here are doing relatively well, obviously, because they got my Numidian cavalry as well. These guys won't win in a fight, in a melee fight. These guys are better off. Notice their attack.
Quickly now!
Now also notice the positioning of my units. There's a small gap right here, and there's one unit in front, one unit in the back. The desert cohort is in the back because of any flanking maneuvers by any of these units. Obviously, just use 2 units and then flank with 1, but then that's why the center is here, like this. I set up to brace for the charge that I know is coming. Used Scutari frontally, and these guys got massacred by precursors, so they won't, most likely will not win. I flank with my cavalry over here. Over here my Numidians are still alive, and so they can go for the Balearic Slingers, or they can go for rear charges. His center is medium, just mostly Scutari. I think it's all Scutari. Yeah, it's all Scutari, my bad. So all it takes is a rear charge to get rid of them. My Numidians couldn't survive, unfortunately, so I only have this unit left. I think this unit's gonna rout as well.
Pull back! Quickly now!
So over here is Gout Warriors are going to the rear of my desert cohort. But fortunately I have support. Over here a rear charge will get rid of these units. He counters with his general. I think this match is gonna end soon. My Numidians routed, so I only have my desert cav left. Counter the general with my other unit of cav.
We understand! As you command! As you command! Forever loyal!
Over here my Numidian noble infantry are going to rout this Libyan infantry. And then all I'd have to do is use these guys over here. His center is collapsing, his left flank is collapsing, and so he has no reason to continue when he leaves. All you have to do is, these guys cost 700 talents, so they cost the same as Legionary cohort, but have the same stats as Legionaries. Armored Cav. Obviously the Africans have the benefit of, I think they are the only ones that have Armored Desert Cav. I don't know if, I can't remember if they all do, because I have been using Armored Camels for my, for the other 2 factions. Or maybe just Saba, I can't remember. So next is, oh yeah, see? Armored camels here. So next is Nabatea, which is, Nabatea I think is the predecessor to, or no, Kush is the predecessor to Nabatea, I can't remember. Saba is the predecessor to Himyar, and I know that because of Himyar's description.
Those bastards over there are quaking in their boots at the sight of you! Look at them, shitting where they stand! Draw your weapons. Get over there and kill!
So, with Sabatea, with Nabatea, I've brought 3 slingers, Nabatean swordsmen. The Nabateans, oh, I can't remember. Oh yes, I remember now. They have Hellenic units. They have hoplites and armored hoplites. These guys are closer to veteran hoplites, and these guys are closer to light hoplites. Now, this roster looks, or this build looks very weak, but you'll actually see that it's very effective for what it can do. my game plan, seeing the roster at first glance, was to use these guys as a way to hold down similar mid-tier units, preferably not high charge, or else these guys would get massacred and it would be pointless. But the swordsmen would support in holding down the flanks, or like say if I use these guys in the center, they would support in making sure that the center itself would not be able to push through easily. Then my Desert Hoplites, stronger, obviously, would be able to either break through on the flanks, or they would be able to hold it down even further. Then I can use my, well, first I'd probably use my heavy lancers before I try to do that, and then my noble swordsmen, one in the center, two on the flanks, would be what would give me victory more likely than not. So when I saw my opponent playing as Saba, I hadn't played as this faction yet, so I didn't know its roster. Well, I actually did know the roster, but I didn't know how they would operate. So over here, he's amassed his cavalry on my right flank, which means he has only one unit of cav here in the center. He brought no spears.
Double time!
So first I decide to start with my swordsman. I kind of made a mistake here, seeing that he was charging. I had enough time to pull back my Nabatean swordsman, but instead I decided to charge forward. Obviously I lost more men than I needed to. This unit's going to take the brunt of the charge, but I was able to pull through, but then there was this unit of cav, which I could have been careful of. Then obviously there was this Desert Heavy Lancer that I couldn't counter because my spears were still behind.
As you say! Pull back!
So my Nabatean swordsman obviously routed because I didn't counter this properly. Again, just another tardiness issue. Why are you lagging on me now? Oh, great. Stopped working.